Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. I am wearing my editing headphones, so apologies here. Thanks for stopping by anyway. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but please feel free to call me SRP if you'd like. Been making content for a little while, so hope that you're familiar with some of my stuff. If you're not, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it very much. And today we're looking at a set 7 rotation deck with a couple of cards from set 7 in here as well. So I have a set 7 preview, what I think is going to be decent, and it was just kind of off the cuff, and I went over some of the cards and leaders that I thought were going to see some play from the existing sets 4, 5, and 6. And one of the archetypes I thought that was going to be decent was the pilot leaders. I think they're going to be the strongest out of the box to start off with. And so I already made a set 7 Luke deck, but I amended it again just for a little bit of set 7 cards that I saw that I liked in here. And I'll go over everything and explain it as usual. But we're going to be pairing the pilot Luke with Data Vault. So let's take a look. What do we get with Luke? Luke is been pretty underrated and hasn't seen a ton of play, but I think that is going to change quite a bit. I think his stock is going to go up quite a bit. It's an action where you can exhaust him. If you attack with a fighter, so we'll keep track of fighters as we go through, a fighter unit at this phase, deal 1 damage to a unit. Now Luke himself, he deploys on 6. And on the back side, just pulling that up here now, it's a 5/6 on the ground, or you can give a unit +4/+5, and it says that this unit can't be defeated by enemy card abilities, which is good. I don't think that there'll be anything like Bamboozle to take care of it now. That's going to have rotated out. And attached unit is a leader. If it's a fighter, it gains on attack. You may deal 3 damage to a unit. So again, we'll keep track of the number of fighters that we've got. We're pairing that with Data Vault just for the 3 extra hit points. Yes, we do have to run 10 extra cards in our deck, but I think that everybody's proven that it's pretty much worth it at this point. A lot of people are playing it. So we do have ground units in here, but they are pilots. So we can play them on the ground, but they are optimal in space. We're going to start off with 2 copies of BB-8, so we want to keep track of fighters, and we want to keep track of resistance for BB-8. BB-8 is a 1 cost 1/4, but with piloting it's 1 cost +1/+2, and when played as an upgrade, you may pay 2. If you do, ready a resistance unit. So it's a good way to just get in a potentially big hit with a unit. We don't have a ton of resistance, but there's enough to potentially make it worth it here. I like the readying it ability, so it's pretty cool. Otherwise, +1/+2 for 1 is not the worst. Our first fighter, we're running 3 copies of Crackshot V-Wing, especially with the Data Vault. We've got to run 10 extra cards anyway. I think this is a great one to run, and it's a fighter. 1 cost 2/2. When played, if you control no other fighter units, deal 1 damage to this unit. I don't believe that is going to happen very often. I think we'll be okay. Playing it on turn 1 is probably not going to be likely, however, though. It's okay. But worst case scenario, we deal 1 damage to the Crackshot. It's okay. It's still 2/1. We've got 3 copies of Nunb, and it's a 1 cost 1/2. And it says this unit gets +1/+0 for each other friendly pilot, unit, and upgrade. And it has the piloting ability where we can turn it into an upgrade for 1. It gives +1/+2, and it says attached unit gets +1/+0 for each other friendly pilot, unit, and upgrade. So this really incentivizes us to want to play multiple pilots, and that's why this list has a bunch of them in here as well. So we got the BB-8, the Frisk, the Luke, Nunb, R2, and I think there's another one, but that could be it. But either way, it's still a good amount. We're running 3 copies of the R2, 1 cost 1/4 if we played on the ground, or we can do the piloting for 0, give our unit +1/+1, and it gains this upgrade can be played on a friendly vehicle unit with a pilot on it and attached unit gains, you may deploy one additional pilot on this unit. It's just a free way. We're essentially trading a card to put one extra power and the ability in the future to put another pilot on a ship. So I think it's worth it, especially in this deck. We're going to go with 3 copies of Trench Run. There's not a lot of good combat tricks right now, and I think that most of our units can get big enough where they can get around the negative side of this Trench Run. But 1 cost event, attack with a fighter unit. For this attack, it gets +4/+0 and gains on attack. Discard 2 cards from the defending player's deck. Deal unpreventable damage equal to the difference in the discarded card's cost to this unit. So what does that mean? When the unit attacks that you have Trench Run, you discard 2 cards. Let's say one costs 4 and one costs 8. Your ship would take 4 damage, the difference between the 8 and the 4. That's really about it. Here's another fighter and resistance. So BB-8 will work great. Extends with black 1, that's Poe's ship. 2 cost 2/3. While this unit is equipped, it gets +1/+0. And on attack, if you control Poe Dameron as a unit, leader, or upgrade, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. We're not running Poe in here, but you absolutely could if you would like to. The Poe that gives you a token and then can attach to a ship is pretty good. I think that's a solid consideration, but I went a little bit lower to the ground with this to start. Just want to go really aggro with it. Next row, we've got another pilot here with Frisk, 2 cost, 3/2 on the ground if we play it. We're running 2 copies of this. It's got the piloting for 2, and it gives the unit +2/+2. And when played as an upgrade, we can defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less. It's a good way to get rid of a shield. Good way to get rid of another opposing pilot potentially, or an experience token, something like that. On the fighter theme, we've got 3 copies of the Jedi Starfighter. So 1 cost 1/4, 2 cost 1/4, and on attack we can deal 1 damage to a space unit. Just want to keep in mind Luke's ability here. If you attack with a fighter, this phase you get to deal 1 damage to a unit. So it's just another way to kind of slowly ping opposing units down. We're also running 3 copies of the Pilot Luke, 2 cost 3/2 if we played it on the ground. However, we're going to almost always play this in space, which is a 3 cost for piloting, so it's an increase to the cost, the normal cost. If this upgrade would be defeated, you may instead move him to the ground arena as a unit and exhaust him. So it's a little bit nice to have some insurance that if your ship does get destroyed, Luke ends up going to the ground and fighting there. Our only set 7 card that I'm trying right now, just because I didn't see a lot of good space cards that I liked. I do like this one, and I was considering going to 3, but just want to try it for now. 2 copies of Phantom 2. It's a 2 cost 2/2 vehicle, rebel, transport, Spectre. It's not a fighter. It's okay. No one's perfect. Anyway, when played, if you play, you may play a heroism unit from your hand, paying its costs, and give an experience token to it. We don't really have anything like a home 1 at the moment, so Keller and Beck is probably the only thing with card advantage. This kind of has that, where it'll allow us to catch up a little bit by playing this and then playing something else, even late game. So it's not a horrible card. The 2 for 2/2, not great, but we really want to be able to get the benefit of playing that extra unit and getting an experience on it. We've got 3 copies of Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, still in the 2 cost. Just 3/2 in space, no abilities. Again, this is a fighter, so we're good there. 1 copy of Air Superiority, just kind of as a hedge. If you can, as a 2 cost in command, if you control more space units, then an opponent deal 4 damage to a ground unit that an opponent controls. I just thought it'd be a good way to get rid of something troublesome on the ground potentially. That's why it's just 1 copy. Running 3 copies of Blue Leader, 3 cost 3/3 with ambush. You can pay 2 more and move it to the ground arena if you'd like, so a little bit of flexibility there. It's also a fighter. We're running 3 copies of Eager Escort Fighter. This is also a fighter. Yeah, it's just a 3-cost 4/1 with ambush. So it's just think of this more of some type of removal, like a removal event. Running 3 copies of the Falcon. I like the fact that we can have multiple pilots on this, especially if we've got the R2. But this is a 3-cost and heroism only for a 3/4. You may play or deploy 1 additional pilot on this unit. This unit gets +1/+0 for each pilot on it. Another card that incentivizes us to play a bunch of pilots. Since we're playing a Luke deck, red 5 is perfect. 3 copies. It's a 3/4 for 3, and on attack, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. It works with Luke's ability, it works with that Jedi Starfighter that we looked at earlier, and this is all space as well. Sabine's Masterpiece, 3-cost for a 3/3, again, just heroism. We're only going to get the command and heroism, the command and aggression modes on here. And the command is give an experience token to a unit. The aggression is deal 1 damage to a unit or base. So those are the 2 that we're going to be triggering here. I decided to run a couple of copies of Clone Combat Squadron. Since we're going so low to the ground, we just reached 3s and we're in the third row. So I wanted to put a big threat potentially for if we are able to go wide. If we're this low to the curve, most likely we will be. 4-cost 3/3, and this gets +1/+1 for each other friendly space unit. Not much to it, it's just good. Luke might have good use for this, and that was the primary thinking. Nunb Royal Ship, 4-cost. 2/5, stats kind of stink, but it does have plot, and each friendly leader unit gains Raid 2 and Overwhelm. So being able to play this on a pilot leader is exceptionally good. That's why I wanted to put it in here. With plot, there's really not too much of a downside where we can just resource these if we need to. But when we do deploy Luke, it's pretty massive because we'll deploy Luke as a pilot. Then we can do our plot, bring this out, give Luke Raid 2 and Overwhelm. So we can really go to town because we can attack with a Luke immediately for the most part. But it's a good card for the pilot leaders, I think. Doing 2 copies of the 4-cost Red Leader, 4-cost 3/4 in space. This unit costs 1 less to play for each friendly pilot unit and upgrade. So it's kind of cool because it's another card that rewards us for pilots. When a pilot upgrade attaches to this unit, we get to create an X-Wing. I like this quite a bit, especially in this deck. And since we're trying to go wide anyway, it makes sense. I was debating whether I wanted to go the full 3 or not, but the 4-cost kind of turned me off to it a little bit. I figured I'd just go in the middle and stick with 2. I'm also running 2 copies of the MC-30 Assault Frigate, 5-cost 5/5 capital ship. Sorry, Red Leader is also a fighter. Forgot to mention that. This is Overwhelm and Raid 1 for a 5/5. Nothing special, it's just pretty good for a 5-cost. Trying 1 copy of Crucible, 6-cost 5/5, again with the idea that we're trying to go wide anyway. This has 1 played and 1 defeated. Give an experience token to each other friendly unit. We're trying to go wide anyway, so this makes sense. I'm also trying 2 copies of Saw Gerrera's U-Wing in here, 6-cost, 4/8 with Saboteur. And when this unit completes an attack and survives, you may attack with another aggression unit. There's not a ton in here, but I think there's enough where we could see this, and it's just really being able to get another attack in with it. Side note, it is a fighter as well. And lastly, the Radis. It's a 7-cost 8/6, and it has the Texas cutoff here, so I apologize, but it gains Sentinel if you have another resistance unit. I just want to kind of roughly skim through these. Just think it's black one that I've got. BB-8. Yeah, so it's probably not going to get Sentinel a ton. Anyway, when it's defeated, you get to deal damage to a unit equal to this unit's power. So 8 damage to something is pretty great. And that is set 7. with officially 2 copies of set 7 card in here as well too. Definitely like the Phantom, and I think this is going to be pretty good out of the box once rotation happens. It's definitely something to look forward to. And yeah, that's it. If you could, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely really helps me out quite a bit. And I just want to say thanks for all the kind support you guys have given me so far. Definitely really appreciate it. And may the Force be with you, my friends. I hope you guys have a great night. And take care, everyone. Be well.